Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know, the place where we really try to get under the skin of complex ideas.
Hunting for those core insights.
Exactly, those aha moments and maybe, well, maybe a few surprising facts along the way.
hmm
So today, we're tackling something pretty profound. It's one of those really ancient, enduring puzzles in human history.
You're talking about the opening of the Holy Quran, Alif, LAM, MIM.
That's the one, Alif, Lam, Mim. And for centuries, they've sort of been seen as these,
Yeah.
well, how is it usually put?
The standard understanding is, mysterious, disjointed letters whose meaning is known only to Allah. That's the traditional view.
Right. But, okay, what if there's more going on? What if they aren't just some kind of, theological enigma? What if they hold a key, a profound key maybe to understanding the whole arc, the whole journey of humanity?
Well, that's exactly what we want to get into in this deep dive. We're exploring a really, I think, fascinating symbolic philosophical take on Alif, Lam, Mim. We're trying to see them not just as mysterious letters, but more like symbolic markers of the human journey.
Symbolic marker.
Yeah, it's this remarkable framework, really, that seems to elegantly connect language, science, and spiritual understanding all in one kind of coherent story.
And the specific lens for this, the framework, is something called the Odam theory.
That's it.
Now, this isn't just about old texts, right? It's a different way of looking at language itself.
Yeah, fundamentally.
Like, imagine if the sounds we make, the actual shapes of letters, carried these ancient universal meanings rooted in how humans first experienced the world.
That's the core idea of Odam Tili. It's this etymological philosophical model. It tries to trace these primal connections in language, often looking at early Turkic concepts, to unlock these deeper ideas.
So the theory suggests each sound, maybe each letter, is like a condensed archetype, a little package of meaning.
Exactly, like you mentioned the M sound. Maybe it connects to mother or making. The theory explores those deep roots, how primal sounds might link directly to universal experiences, cosmology, metaphysics.
Wow. So it's looking at sounds, maybe even the visual shapes of letters.
Yes, ancient root sounds, visual resemblances, tracing those deeper meanings. And for you, the listener, this approach, well, it potentially offers a kind of shortcut.
A shortcut of how?
To a deeper understanding. It suggests this ancient text might actually hold a kind of divine code, a code guiding our intellectual, our spiritual evolution.
And it teases that big idea, doesn't it, that maybe science and faith aren't actually opposites.
That's the really exciting part, that potential realization.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because this feels like it's not just abstract theology. It feels like it's about the actual path of human understanding, from our first breath right through to maybe our ultimate purpose.
It absolutely is.
So where do we start? The first letter, Alif. In this Odam Tili framework, what's the symbolic weight Alif carries for this journey? How does the letter itself, its sound, its form, start to unpack that initial human experience?
Right, Alif. Well, the analysis is quite deep. The sound A, or maybe Al, it's interpreted as being positioned or located in space, the fundamental act of just being somewhere.
Okay, existing in space.
And then visually, the letter I in some scripts, or just the upright shape of Aleph, it looks quite like a standing human figure.
Signifying form, presence.
Yes. And then there's the F sound. Phonetically, that sound connects to ideas like falling, descending, or coming into this world. It hints at our physical arrival.
So if you put those pieces together, Al for being located, I for the human form, F for descending.
Putting it all together, Aleph comes to represent the entry of the human soul into the physical three-dimensional world.
So it's like birth, that moment of creation for an individual.
For the individual, yes, birth. And maybe for humanity as a whole, you could think of it like the descent of Adam and Eve to Earth. It signifies that stage of material immersion.
Immersion, okay.
Where humans kind of wake up to the sensory world, the reality around them, but maybe don't yet grasp its purpose.
Right, that initial awareness. You're present, you sense things, but the deeper why isn't clear yet. That initial sort of bewilderment that feels very familiar, doesn't it? Even when we enter new stages of life.
It really does resonate. It's the foundation, the awakening in the material world before you fully worked out the meaning.
Okay.
And it's from that starting point, that immersion suggested by Alif, that humanity naturally progresses. There's this urge to figure out how this world actually works.
And that leads us to LAM.
That leads us to LAM.
Ah, LAM. So this is where our curiosity kicks in, right? How does Odam Tilley break down LAM?
Well, L is seen as signifying being fixed or located, similar to Alif in a way, but then am means something like to take in the hands, to handle, to experiment with.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just being there, it's interacting, active engagement.
Precisely. LAM symbolizes humanity's scientific push, our innate curiosity. This is the stage where we actively explore the world. We gather data, we build theories, we try to uncover the mechanisms.
So science is the main tool here.
It becomes the primary tool for answering that fundamental question, how?
How did the universe start? How does life work? How do the laws of physics operate?
Exactly. It's the methodical, empirical dissection of reality, trying to figure out the nuts and bolts.
And it's interesting. The script notes point out how this stage, which is built on skepticism and needing proof, can often lead people towards atheism.
Yes, and the framework suggests it's not necessarily because science disproves the creator.
But because the method itself.
The methodology, exactly. It demands empirical evidence. It inherently requires you not to trust until you have proof. And that contrasts sharply with religion's usual call for faith or trust up front.
So the scientific method itself starts from a place of doubt, of questioning. It needs observable data.
It does, and that's a crucial phase, absolutely necessary for inquiry. It's an honest attempt, really, to explain the how of our origins, the universe's workings.
But it's not the end of the road in this framework.
No, vital as it is, LAM isn't the final destination. This exploration, this how, it naturally leads us towards the third stage, which is MIM.
MIM. Okay, so this is where things come together. The grand synthesis, maybe?
Yeah.
What does Odam Tilley see in MIM?
For MIM, the analysis gets interesting again. M can mean owning or on hands, and I suggests inside, like within human consciousness. So one reading is a full sense of owning or containing knowledge.
Containing it within us.
Or, perhaps simpler, M for possession, and I'm for internalized knowledge or mastery.
Okay, mastery of knowledge. How does that complete the picture after Alif's arrival and LAM's how?
MIM represents the ultimate convergence, the final synthesis. It's about taking all those observations, all the scientific discoveries from the LAM stage, maybe spiritual insights too, and weaving them together to reach an ultimate conclusion.
And what is that conclusion, typically, in this stage?
At the MIM stage, the framework suggests the answer to how. All that incredible order and precision science reveals in the universe naturally points towards a creator. The sheer complexity and harmony become evidence in themselves.
But MIM goes beyond just acknowledging a creator, doesn't it? It tackles the question that science, even advanced science, struggles with. Why?
Exactly. The why pushes into the realm of divine purpose. Ideas like, this life is a test, or the material world is temporary, and the concept of an afterlife, heaven or hell, as the ultimate reality.
That's the convergence. Science points to how leading to a creator, and MIM integrates the why from a spiritual or divine perspective.
Yes, and thinking about this convergence, this idea of science ultimately pointing towards a creator, it also helps us maybe reevaluate some old arguments.
Like the science versus faith debate.
Precisely. Take, for instance, that common historical distortion, the popular way Darwin's theory gets twisted.
The humans evolved from monkeys line.
Right, which, Darwin himself never definitively stated it quite like that. His theory proposed a shared common ancestor, something much more nuanced.
But that simplified version, humans from monkeys, it took hold in the public mind, didn't it?
It really did, and it became a powerful tool, especially back in the 19th and early 20th centuries, used in various socio-political arguments.
Used to create a kind of false conflict.
Exactly, often used to deliberately weaken public trust in religious explanations and sort of elevate materialist philosophy as if it were the only credible way to see the world.
Creating a false dichotomy that, let's be honest, still echoes today.
Unfortunately, yes. It created this cultural split where science gets labeled as purely skeptical, materialist, and a religion gets painted as purely traditional, maybe uncritical.
But from this Odam Tilley perspective,
Yeah.
that whole division is based on a misunderstanding, a distortion.
It's seen as a distortion, yeah. LAM, or science, is that essential, honest attempt to figure out the how, but it's incomplete if it doesn't lead to MIM synthesis, which brings in meaning, purpose, the why.
So even findings that seem purely materialist from the LAM stage are still part of a larger process, a divine plan maybe, leading towards a fuller truth.
That's the implication. It's not a conflict, it's more like a roadmap.
A roadmap, I like that.
Yeah.
So just to recap the journey then, Aleph is our descent, our arrival in the material world, becoming aware.
Falling into the world.
LAM is our exploration, using science, asking how things work, driven by curiosity, skepticism sometimes.
Exploring its workings through science, yes.
And then MIM is the integration, taking all that how knowledge and synthesizing it, leading to the why, to purpose, potentially pointing back to a creator.
Integrating all that understanding into a complete vision of reality, that's MIM.
So in this interpretation, Alif Lam Mim isn't just mysterious letters. It's a kind of three-step map of human destiny, embedded right at the start of the Quran.
A divine code, you could say, guiding humanity's intellectual and spiritual evolution, from that initial material awareness right through to understanding our ultimate purpose.
It's quite an elegant framework because it positions science and faith not as enemies,
Not contradictory at all.
but as sequential and necessary phases
Mhm.
in how humanity learns and grows intellectually.
Exactly. And it really casts those misrepresentations, like the oversimplified Darwin example, in a different light. They become historically contingent distortions.
Things that happen for specific reasons at specific times, but which obscure the deeper synthesis that's possible at that MIM stage.
It allows for a much more holistic view, where every discovery, scientific or spiritual, fits into a bigger picture.
So, reflecting on this, if the universe's incredible precision, which science keeps uncovering, does naturally point towards a creator,
And if the why of it all really does lie in divine purpose,
then what does this framework suggest about the discoveries still to come, both scientific and spiritual?
that's the provocative thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does understanding this ancient perspective, this potential roadmap, shape how you pursue knowledge and meaning? What stands out to you from this whole fascinating journey through Aleph, Lam, and Mim?